Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. It begins in the near future with a standoff between police officers and an unseen force inside a roadside diner. A private security team arrive to relieve the officers of their duty and even have the authority but also the big weapons as well. They make their way inside past the unlucky patrons to find a cybernetically enhanced super soldier punching holes in a wall. Apparently all this crap on your face makes you go crazy, so the lazy leader Carpenter just waits around for the malfunctioning Robocop to collapse. Once they've recovered the body, he warns the surviving officers not to talk about what happened, but again Lazy must forget about the woman in the bathroom. She draws attention to the world's leading manufacturer of weaponry, Chank Armament, whose slogan is making hard tech for a hard world. The media swarm executive Hayden Cale, but she's so new to the job that even the company tracking device still itches her arm. The chairman Ridley tries to cover up what's known as the Hard Man Project, but Cale has purposely leaked top secret documents to the press. It's to distract the public from their more criminal activities, but it's like the board isn't even listening to the new girl because they just get up and leave. Since there's a fault in the machines, Cale demands the lead engineer be fired, but he's too valuable to the company, so he's going nowhere. A junior techie warns Cale that the unstable developer is dangerous, but she wants the project shelved, so she heads down to the engine room. She confronts the rogue weapon designer Dante, who has a secret project contained in Vault 10 but keeps it hidden from the company. When the new boss lady demands to see it, he says that they need to swipe Ridley's keycard at the same time to gain access to the vault. He's just a cunning little turd who threatens to leak all of Cale's personal information, including apartment access code, if she ever bothers him again. She tries to ask Ridley for help, but even he's terrified of Dante after Cale's predecessor was killed by one of his creations and it was covered up as a shark attack. Picking the boss's keycard, Cale uses it to learn that Dante was somehow adopted by this evil corporation after killing another orphan in a trap. He suddenly shows up as he's always watching and offers Cale a partnership, as together her high-level access and his death machines could do a lot of damage. She remains calm until he whips out an old copy of Sorority Sisters featuring yours truly, so she threatens him with a gun to his head. The menace calls her bluff until she pulls back the hammer and Dante folds, but he's probably not going to let this go. When she leaves, Cale passes a trio of freedom fighters plotting to destroy the company's digitally stored assets and send them into bankruptcy. Their leader Raimi lays out their plan to get inside the main vault and navigate around the other 22, while his comrades Weyland and Yutani prepare for the raid. Meanwhile, Dante pays a visit to Ridley and reveals what he's been working on in Vault 10, which he outright says is coming to kill him. Dante thinks Ridley gave Cale the keycard to investigate him, and when told she stole it, strikes him for calling his girlfriend a thief. He's completely lost it and summons his death machine to come crashing through the wall, but we don't actually get a clear view of it for some time. A terrified Ridley flees in a frantic semi-first-person chase scene where Dante's love for video games shows when killing his boss is also known as a game over. Later that night, Carpenter calls Cale to tell her about the situation, so she returns to find Ridley's mutilated corpse and a much welcome promotion. Now with Ridley's high-level clearance, she looks into his murder to discover that whatever tore him apart came from Vault 10. Just then Dante arrives and says that he did it so that she would grant him further power, but she turns around and terminates his employment instead. The little psycho's about to shoot her in the face for it when the heist crew show up at the perfect time and take the two hostage alongside Carpenter. They tie the strangely small staff team up and demand access to the building's vault in order to steal the company's Bitcoin or whatever, but Cale refuses to cooperate. Obviously Dante offers his help in showing them a quicker way to gain access, but takes Raimi and Weyland through what he says is a shortcut. It's the Vault 10 door, and he claims they need to cut their way through, but that's only a lie for him to regain access to his death machine. Once they have it open, Dante leaps inside and activates his 9-foot-tall mechanical creature that immediately attacks Weyland. It bites down on a gas bottle that he holds out in front of him, but Raimi survives the explosion and returns to Yutani. They argue about their next step when Dante pops up on the monitors and demands to be reinstated, but Cale unwisely refuses. He unleashes what he calls the frontline morale destroyer, which he claims hunts on fear, but that's just to make it sound scarier. The surviving thieves let the hostages follow them out of the building, but it's a rookie mistake because Carpenter's clumsiness alerts the warbeast to their location. Cale comes up with the plan to set off one of the thieves' explosives so that the building locks down the hallways and buys them some time. Unfortunately, Raimi's team's guns are only loaded with blanks, and they really are just the good guys trying to bring down the evil corporation. Once the blast doors are sealed, the elevators no longer work, so Carpenter decides to take charge since he actually has a real gun. He loads them onto a security elevator that still operates and apologizes to Cale for pointing the gun at her, but she just punches him in the face. Suddenly the war beast comes tearing through the floor, ripping into Yutani's leg while the rest try to fight back, but their attacks are useless. Carpenter fires his gun, but the bullet ricochets into his arm and the war beast takes a big old mortal bite of his shoulder, spilling blood everywhere. When it releases Yutani and begins carrying her co-worker through the ceiling, Cale hits the button and they begin to ascend again. The Warbeast falls back through, dragging Carpenter back down and out through the bottom of the lift, where he most likely plummets to his death. Recovering on the vault floor, since descending isn't much of an option, Raimi patches up Yutani's wounds with his own underwear. They take shelter in the vault, which holds classified items relating to the Hard Man project, including a soldier suspended in cryosleep. Cale learns that Carpenter and Dante abducted soldiers declared missing in action, so she's happy to assist in bringing down the company. Since the Warbeast still stands between them and the front door, Dante comes on the monitors to gloat about his premature victory. He reveals that he knows exactly where they are by the tracker inside Cale's arm, so she cuts it out lickety-split, no fuss needed. She volunteers to become a cyborg and fight the machine, but since only she knows how to operate the computer, Raimi gets fitted out for the Hard Man program instead.
I'll be back.
He receives advanced weaponry and armor, then uploads the data into his brain while downloading his personality onto a memory stick for later. Cale keeps it in her bra as the emotionless man wanders around hunting the beast and wondering why he even needed to be turned into a drone in the first place. The other two get ready to help, but Dante shows up and shoots Yutani in the back before taking Cale back to his private quarters. Trying to convert her to the dark side, the creepy stalker reveals that he knows Cale killed her baby as the wackiest piece of character building in this movie. Apparently she accidentally dropped it into a garbage disposal, but it's never brought up again, so take that for what you will. Despite this flattering attempt to win her heart, Dante still gets rejected by Cale, so he attacks her to see if that'll work better. It doesn't for some reason, as she nails the dweeb to his own bench with his own knife, then steals a bunch of explosives to blow up the robot's mainframe. Yutani recovers to get chased by the machine towards Vault 10, where Cale thinks that Raimi's gone crazy when he points his weapon at them. He fires a rocket over their heads into Warbeast, and since Yutani's badly injured, his programming tells him to only rescue Cale. But she argues with him, causing the cyborg to malfunction like these models are known to do. They're unable to take the metal off him until re-uploading his memories, but he begins working for now and escorts them to safety. The Warbeast shows up, so Cale and Yutani empty all their bullets, doing no damage before Raimi charges at it to buy them time to escape. When they get a door to the outside open, he kicks the machine back and climbs through with Cale, but Yutani stays behind to hold it off. They do this heroic man so dirty when he tries retreat, but just forgets to duck and knocks himself out. The machine tickles him to death with its razor fingers like Edward Scissorhands, while Cale and Raimi escape onto the rooftop in the pouring rain. They jump onto a supply elevator as the machine rips its way out of the side of the building and Raimi begins to malfunction again. Cale shoots at the beast and hits the lift cable, sending it down the side of the building, but she manages to activate the brakes in time. Cale pulls an SD card out of her bra and reinstalls Raimi's memories, overriding the Hard Man program before it melts his brain. A police officer shows up and supposedly shoots Cale in the leg, but these aren't her pants, and I think they just filmed the cops instead. It doesn't matter anyway, as Cale just shrugs any damage off as pieces of metal begin to rain down around them. The whole Warbeast comes crashing down on top of the officer, then chases Cale inside as she moves perfectly fine on her injured leg. They continue their original plan of blowing up the mainframe while Cale tosses explosives towards the machine that only managed to delay it. Reaching the main vault and using the access keys to gain entry, Cale throws another bomb that accidentally knocks Raimi unconscious and leaves her alone to deal with the machine. Unable to escape the mainframe room, Cale's about ready to just give up when the machine suddenly shuts down. Dante enters again to complain about how great they would have been together and how badly his hand is messed up from the knife earlier. Cale pretends to comfort him so that she can hit the spinneroonie and allow Raimi to punch him further into the vault. They obtain the controller for the machine while Raimi gets all the evidence he needs to bring the corporation down. Cale throws an active bomb to Dante and they trap him inside the vault with his rogue creation, but we don't see which one gets him first. And the movie ends.